Many people on this planet live in this region, not towards the top and not towards the bottom. And what that means is as the Earth spins, you get about half a day of sunlight and about half a day of darkness. But what happens if you live further up here? In this video, we go further up north in Russia to see what it's like where there's much more sun. What is it like living in a city in a world where the sun technically does not fully set for part of the year? Welcome to Expat American. I'm here with my wife, Mrs. Expat American. We are in Russia where the sun doesn't set. Well, it sets a little bit. And it's only for most of June, the beginning of summer. But nevertheless, there's a lot of sun this time of year, and we're going to see it in this video. People sunbathing on a little dock area in the water, and then we got people hanging out on the grass, reading books, getting a suntan. All these happy people and children playing here. Is this what Russia is? Is Russia a scary place? Where are the dirty things? Where are the scary places and the scary people? Does this look like your city? Is this good enough for us to have lunch at? Where is the cold weather? Does Russia look more like Europe than you thought? Butter on a pretzel, is this okay? And where is the darkness? Does this look like breakfast in your city? In this video, we're actually going to go to 4 different cafes. Sveta, what city is this and what's happening here?
So it's St. Petersburg, Russia, and these months, June, there are white nights in St. Petersburg. So what it means, the sun almost never sets during the night. So it's a little bit darker, but you can see everything. And this is like a big festival for this month because people come here, they're taking a boat trip to, to go along the river and having some kind of excursions and nightlife, going to the restaurants. So it's like the best time of the year.
Sveta, it looks like Venice or old New York. What do you think?
I think more like Venice.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because there is a lot of water here. It's like a lot of rivers, a lot of canals, a lot of water everywhere.
Check it out, guys. Can you believe it? I mean, it is absolutely Europe. Check out this place. Beautiful cathedral of some kind, I guess. And a little bit further down, I can see in the distance, we're not going to go there right now, but it's the most famous church here in St. Petersburg, I believe. It's called the Church of the Spilt Blood. And it was built there on the canal here because that's the site of where I think one of the czars of Russia were assassinated. Yeah, there it is past the statue. Right there. Looks like St. Basil's in Moscow, but it's newer. Here is the front of this beautiful building here. There used to be a Soviet-themed cafe around here that we ate at and got some cool pictures at, but looks like it's out of business now. The restaurant we were going to eat at was booked, so we ended up going this way after all, and here it is. We have lots of cute pictures of the kids at different ages in front of this place because we've vacationed here a lot. I still cannot believe this place. I am in shock. As a tourist, it is wonderful. Now, I'm sure if you lived here, you'd have the same problems we all have in whatever city we live in.
And for a time, this city was actually the capital of Russia.
You see that lift? So Pavel was telling me about this. This building was built without an elevator, and then in some cases they added them to the outside. There's another one. Where's my wife? There she is. During Soviet times, St. Petersburg was renamed to Leningrad, and then they switched the name back to St. Petersburg. It's just canal after canal here as we snake our way through the city blocks. So all these boats are waiting for people to pay money and jump on in and ride the canals through the city. And I remind you, it is only Thursday. To me, it feels like the weekend as far as all the people that are out on the street just having a good time. There is a little bird on a pedestal there, and that is something famous that people try to throw money on its head or something like that. Maybe a Russian subscriber wants to put the lyrics to the song or a video link or something. I think it's like a children's song. Cafe experience number 2 in St. Petersburg. ZigZag, Svetlana. St. Petersburg has a large historic center, and many of these buildings, the fronts of them, cannot be touched, and they have to keep them their original paint color from years and years ago. And it's kind of a problem for construction workers. Because when they need to do any new building or reconstruction, they actually have to carefully keep the front of the building separate. Here's something interesting. This is a restaurant. The windows and doors are open air. This would never, ever happen in Florida, where I'm from, where the weather would be so good that you're just sitting in a nice restaurant with the windows and doors wide open.
Honey, look at the flowers. They smell so good.
They do smell good, and look at the view. Look at that building in the background. It's like shiny gold, but it's got like a dark color scheme. We went up into the dome last summer.
Yeah. the Bolshoi Theater in Moscow. So it's very, very famous. Okay, you can see these white flakes, kind of flakes. It's actually from these trees. In Russian they're called topol or topoля. I found the name in English. I don't know if you ever heard poplars. So it only happens in June. So when these trees are producing these, white flakes.
Yeah, it looks like
over.
cotton, but it's a lot more fragile
Yes,
than cotton.
yes.
It's
It is
blowing in
like
the
cotton,
wind. And what I need to be sure I do not forget, because I've been here for over a year, is in walking around this city, having this European vacation, casually sightseeing and eating yummy food, nowhere do I see scary places, scary people, dirty things to be concerned of. I mean, I lived in Florida, California, and New York in America, and it was fine, but you always have to have your guard up. You always have to be aware that there might be bad guys that randomly bump into you, and that is just never the case here in Russia for me. Sveta has brought me to a place called New Holland. It is a park and is technically an island in St. Petersburg because the canals go all the way around it, and it just looks like people having a happy time. It looks so beautiful, Sveta,
Yes,
but this beauty has a price. I had to walk through a metal detector to get in here. They're just taking away a little bit of my freedom. If only I could come in here without the metal detector and walk freely with my guard up that someone might do me harm. But alas, that is not the case.
People are enjoying this place because we have an expression in Russia: summer is a little life. Like we're all trying to enjoy our summer as much as possible.
Right, because you guys have like 6 months of a pretty strong winter.
Some cities, most of Russia, it's cold in winter, but there are some southern places where it's not as cold, but like Moscow, St. Pete, and this northern area, it's definitely like the most enjoyable time for us now.
Perhaps some Westerners should immigrate to a southern Russian city somewhere. Here we have, I believe, a Noah's Ark themed playground. Actually, my first visit here, it was wintertime and this river was completely frozen over, and I actually walked out onto it, which was probably not smart. Was that a wedding, Svetlana?
I think so.
Russians have weddings? Like
Oh, yeah.
Westerners?
Yes. It's a little bit different, but we do have weddings, for sure.
I saw pretty people and flowers. Now it's time for some lunch. Cafe number 3. So, should we have lunch here?
Скажите, пожалуйста, вот этот салат с глазированным,
Заглазированной печенью.
там что в нем еще? Там какие-то овощи?
Салатные листья, помидорки, медовая заправка и глазированная куриная печень.
Ага. Вот давайте я его возьму, салат. А ты знаешь?
Pepperoni pizza.
Пепперони хорошо.
Спасибо.
Svetlana, что это?
Это гренки.
Fried, salty.
Fried brown bread with chicken and a little bit of like sour cream sauce.
Is this lunch spot romantic enough for you?
Yes, it's wonderful.
Okay, I hope I'm doing good as a
I love
husband.
it. You're great. You're doing great. The guy said he thinks it's for all the participants of the forum.
Next to our beautiful building here. Does this look like pizza in your city? are we, darling?
We are in St. Petersburg.
Yes, but where exactly?
You can look at this building.
And what is it?
Try to figure out.
I know exactly what it is. It is the Hermitage, or as you like to say, the Hermitage.
In Russian, it's Hermitage. We call it Hermitage.
And this courtyard is usually wide open, but they're putting up a temporary stage and they blocked it off with metal detectors. And I see the sign on the side of the stage is the name of the economic forum that we came here for. And I like the obelisk in the center, but it's a beautiful courtyard to walk around in. It's usually open. And there's an arch right there which leads you to shops and the main street in St. Petersburg.
Peter the Great designed the city in such a way that it is called the window to Europe.
The Hermitage is a massive, massive museum. We've been here a few times and we've never seen the whole thing
It's like Louvre.
because you can't see the whole thing. It's like the Louvre. It's just, there's too much to see. This city is actually full of museums. I mean, you cannot possibly see them all, and you definitely could not see the Hermitage in one day. So you can see the sun is going down, and I think it will go under the horizon, but only a little bit. And so we'll keep that glow in the sky throughout the night. Too much fun, it looks like to me. Looking out over the water, I guess. Also around midnight, these rivers will be full of boats where people are partying and having a good time, and they'll raise all the bridges, which will be covered in lights. Also, it is my understanding that all these sidewalks along the rivers are original stone and cannot be touched as well. What is this?
We just ran into one of our subscribers and she recommended us to visit this beautiful place. It's actually situated in between several building apartments where just parents and their children, they were working on this mosaic and they made these cool, beautiful things you can look at.
So the parents and the kids have been working on this for a while.
Art project.
Just to make a little playground and a little art area.
I guess it's like people from these apartments.
Do you have art in your city? Check out the sky now. It is around 9 p.m. or 2100 hours. Our final cafe. Okay, maybe it's not a cafe. Found an underground restaurant pub. Svetlana, Zing Zing. Sveta, what are we eating first?
So this is deer on the bread. It's the rye bread. It's called borodinsky. It's like a
Мясо
dark
на
type
хлеб?
of- Yes, it's actually the мясо of a deer.
Deer meat
Deer
on
meat.
bread. Очень вкусно. What do you think, Svetlana?
Very tasty.
I have a yummy assortment of German sausages in this German restaurant in Russia with a giant pretzel And my wife, I think, got mashed potatoes and fish patties.
That's
Yes?
correct. That's pike patties.
Very tasty meal. Whoa. Why is the sky still light? So would you consider this daytime all night? Or would you call it white nights, as they say? If you want to see more of St. Petersburg, don't forget to go to our St. Petersburg playlist and see just a little bit more. Alrighty, what did you think? As you can see, the sky is still pretty much bright, but not completely. It is past 11, past 2300 hours. Click like, subscribe, ring the bell notification, interrupt my speech, and send this to your friends by clicking the share button, and click the box to see what happens next. Running to our train again. Looks like Sveta may have booked us on an old-fashioned style train for our trip back to Moscow. This is not the old-fashioned train car, but maybe Sveta and I will have to do that in a future trip. But this is a nicer train car, I would say, than what we did recently. The church we were going to eat at, and the restaurant we were going to eat at.
There is a lot of...
I'm sorry, start over.
Как сказать пух?
Poplar.
No. Poplar, that's the tree. What is this white stuff? How you would call it in English?
I don't call it anything. I've never seen it before.
Okay. Да, быстро. Сейчас, Joseph.
This is not the old fat. Wonderful.